I'm Courtney.
And I'm Emily. And this is Cheers to That.
Hey, we're back again.
Back in business.
And
back
we are
with our cracks. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff.
I was like feeling so giddy, like getting ready to record. I just felt like a little kid, like so excited to record again. I don't know. I think it's because we're full throttle into summer.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about going to work tomorrow.
Amen.
I just feel so free. Like I get to come record. I'm not stressed. Mm-hmm. We went and did all sorts of things beforehand. Yes. I'm not stressing. It's just fun.
The day is young. I think I'm feeling less giddy to record because I did my hair before we started recording. You said it looks fine. I'm money piece too close to the sun. Once again, it's too much for e-money. So
I think it looks good, but the fact that you're just randomly like, oh, I'm going to do my hair real quick before we record. Are you kidding me? Like normal people have to schedule these things 8 weeks in advance. So it's pretty incredible.
The thing about me is I'm so impulsive. And that's why I do my own hair. I love a girl that I used to work with when I worked in a salon, Corey, shout out. She's so good at hair. But she does my hair like once a year. And then the rest of the time, I just raw dog it and do it myself because I'm like, yes, highlights, party of one today. I need them. Yeah. And then I go do them and then I'm like, shit. And it takes me like probably 3 times before I get them what I want it to be. But we're going out of town tomorrow.
Yep. So
this will be a little bit of
one more chance before
last chance romance.
Well, let me tell you about my hair today. We had an errand to go run. And so I was feeling real, just I guess excited. And so instead of waiting till right before we record to get ready, because sometimes that's daunting to have a whole lazy Sunday. And then I'm like, oh, I have to get ready.
Yes.
I got ready at 10:30 this morning and I thought I'll get ready. I won't have to worry about anything. Right. Well, humidity in Houston is always horrible. And so I went out and did all of my errands. I saw my hair from the back. I looked like a poodle. A poodle has weird wavy frizzy hair. I think a poodle's hair looked better than mine. And so I had to end up recurling some of the pieces. Basically all of my hard work went to waste.
Here's the thing from what you just said, an initiative I think we should begin. Mm-hmm. It should be illegal. I'm looking at Target specifically to have mirrors that show me what the back of me looks like.
Target mirrors are the worst.
Target, nothing makes me want to die. Like trying on a Target bathing suit. Their mirrors are set up where you can see everything from behind.
It's also their mirrors are the funny mirror houses. What is that called?
What are those called? Funhouse mirrors.
Yes, funhouse mirrors.
Yeah.
Where everything is disproportionate.
I look like an eggplant. My body type is eggplant.
I mean, I'm hoping that that's not what I actually look like because if anyone
sees me in public and that's what I look like, God
and
bless.
Their lighting is horrible.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, you go into Abercrombie because they revamped everything and they have in their dressing rooms where you can change the lighting. You can do bright light, warm light, fluorescent. You can do all different kinds.
Target, do better.
Yes.
Also,
and their
your
mirrors do not look like shit.
No, your dressing rooms have been really crappy at the Target near us also lately. They're grimy. Yeah. But also just so the back view, put a skinny mirror back there. I don't need to know that I look like I've got hail damage on my legs. That's not something I need to be aware of.
I don't need to see what the back of me looks like.
Ignorance is bliss.
I'm good.
Ignorance is bliss. And I'd like to stay there. But anyways, I don't even know what we're talking about. Oh, seeing the back of your hair. Yeah.
Well, it just wasn't good for me.
It happens.
But I did want to share yesterday, shout out Matt, was our 11-year anniversary.
Of marriage. 11 years of marriage.
11 years of marriage. We basically got together when we were babies. Just kidding.
Well, you were
we were actual babies. But
Matt saw Courtney on the preschool playground and said, that one. And then,
2-year age difference,
and then
he got your age difference. That's our joke, though. Because we've been together forever. We've been together 14 years total.
That's
11 years married. And it's just wild. And so we got to go celebrate yesterday with a little date night. And we went to the movies and
got massages.
Actually, we started out our date with massages, which highly recommend. That was amazing. I will say my hair got a little greasy from it, but I brought a hat because I knew that was going to happen. And we were just going to the movies. So I had already dressed comfy and Then we did a little bit of shopping. Got my Kendra Scott 50% off for my birthday month. Make sure you guys go do that on your birthday months because I got
it's too late for me.
chain for literally $25.
It's too late for me now.
And the thing with Kendra Scott is if it gets like tarnished at all, you just go trade it in and they'll give it to you for free. So yes, which Forever 21 $3 necklace. It's just as cute. I'm just hoping this one will hold up a little
better.
longer.
Yeah.
And then we tried out a new movie theater. Let me tell you about our experience. First of all, I don't know who in their right mind at movie theaters thinks they can charge $25 per ticket for a movie theater experience.
That's kind of crazy.
$25. I didn't even know it was that much. I was the one that said I wanted to go to that one. Matt is the one that booked the tickets. And like, Matt doesn't care. He loves the movies.
Money is no object
if it was
Matt.
$50 to go to the movies for one ticket, he would. Like, he wants the experience.
25 steep.
It was steep. And then we got there. This was like 30 to 40 minutes away, depending on what traffic. And the theater, I mean, you walk in and it's nice. It looks like you're in a hotel. But you sit down and the reclining seats, it is nice because they have like, the seats are boxed off. So it's like 2 seats and then you have dividers.
And are they the kind that like literally recline all the way?
Yes, they recline.
That's nice.
It was nice. The thing about movie theaters now, and I'm not that big of a germaphobe, but I am when it comes to movie theaters. And all I could think, because they gave you like these little blankets, you know, like an airplane blanket.
No.
And I had Matt sniff it to make sure that it smelled clean because I'm like, how do you know that they're washing these?
And also, the reason Courtney couldn't sniff her own blanket is because she has no sense of smell.
I can't. I had no sense of smell because of allergies before COVID, and then I got COVID like 3 times, and then it just was over for me. And so I
cannot smell anything.
Can't smell.
It's almost a talent. I kind of envy you sometimes. Anyways, carry on.
And so I had him smell it, and I mean, he was like, "Oh, it smells clean to me." And they crank it up so cold in there. It was also a movie theater where you could order food, and like the idea of that is like so fun. Like, oh, I get to order my little meal and eat
snacks
when
and
I walked in there, though, all I could smell was like chicken, like just food smell versus like a popcorn smell. I'll take a popcorn smell any day. Anyways, I will say we won't be going back to that movie theater. Just
was
overall,
it not? It just seemed like grimy for.
No, it was it was clean. Yeah, I guess I should back up to like why the seats were making me feel gross. We walked up to ours and I thought I saw like one little speck and like it threw me off. I was like, what if someone had bed bugs and they brought it, or lice? Like, you think about those things going to the movie theater.
Well, you know that I got lice from the Deerbrook Mall movie theater.
I forgot
when I was
about
6
that.
years old, and I had hair down to my waist. Thanks, Mom, for making me look Pentecostal for the first 10 years of my life. She like would not let me cut my hair. When I was 6, I could sit on my hair. It was so long. But I got lice from.
Did they have the cloth
movie
seats?
They did. They don't anymore, but they did at that time in the. I guess it was like 2001. And my grandma took me to the movies, and she said as soon as like we sat down, I started scratching my head, and she literally was like,
done.
Oh no. And then we left the movies, and that's the only time I've ever had lice in my life, which is kind of shocking for doing hair and like being in cosmetology school where people are disgusting and bring their kids in to get cheap haircuts to shave off their hair when they have lice. But anyways, that traumatized me. So cloth seats in a movie theater, goodbye. Not sitting down.
I think those are rare to have now, but even the, they don't, even the ones that they have, like whatever they are, like fake leather, pleather. I know they're not wiping down every seat.
No.
They're not wiping that down. They're not wiping down all of the trays and the button where you could press the light. And I saw people's fingerprints.
I will say, so growing up, we had a place called Movie Tavern that used to be open over here. I don't even know when it closed, years ago. But it was like, oh, go eat and watch a movie. It's so cool. But then whenever you think about the fact that it's pitch black, you can't see your food. They could serve you a turd with cheese on it and you can't see it.
Yeah.
You're just tasting it.
Well, and Matt was like, it was too, like, to try to finagle, like, cutting into something with a knife. And he was like, what we should have done, hindsight, was order popcorn and then order a dessert. Call it a day.
What did you get to eat?
I got chicken tenders with buffalo sauce on them and fries.
I literally could sense that you got some sort of buffalo chicken. Like, I could just feel it in my
anytime
soul.
There's buffalo chicken on the menu,
maybe that's why.
I'm in. Anyways, that's my movie experience. But we did go see The Quiet Place 3.
2.
No, it's 3.
Are you sure? Oh, yes! You're right. Sorry. I was thrown off because when you said The Quiet Place, is that what it's called, or is it Quiet Place?
The Quiet Place.
So it's different-ish for the third one. They put The
Quiet Place. Okay, either one.
It doesn't really matter.
A Quiet Place.
I was thrown off and already am I correcting
it literally says day 1 in the in the title of the movie,
Yeah.
but we were like 10 minutes into the movie and I look over at Matt and I was like, Matt, I think this is like, oh my God, I'm blanking on the word.
Like a prequel?
Yes, thank you. I think this is the prequel to both of the other movies. And he was like,
literally said
it says it. And he told me, he's like, it says it in the title.
You solved the
day
mystery.
one. But here's the thing about you versus me. You look up everything about a movie. You look up the entire plot. You know the ending of a movie before you go watch it. I go in blind every time.
Hate it, can't do it.
I just raw dog it. Like I go in and I'm like, well, I do look up ratings. If it has a good rating, then
I don't trust the
watch it.
rating system. I don't trust my peers in this world to tell me what I'm gonna like.
You don't trust Rotten Tomatoes?
Sometimes, but like there are movies that I really like that have really low scores. I can't think of an example right now, but like, I mean, even funny movies, like a hilarious movie is going to get like hilarious stupid. You know what I mean? Like Talladega Nights is going to get like a 1% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm like, Rotten Tomatoes, get your pretentious asses out of here. That's cinematic gold.
So what I have to do is I combine Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, and Google.
Oh my God. So it's like a whole scale.
And then I find the median.
And then you have a points sheet and award a ranking based on. And then you get your what's it called? Graphing calculator. And then you check the graph. Is the parabola what you want it to be?
But in any of that, am I looking up what the movie's actually about? Sure am not. And so I went into this movie actually not knowing how it was connected to the other two. It was so good.
It was good? Oh,
it was so good. Everyone needs to watch it. We actually got home and then we started the first one back over.
So good.
I fell asleep.
So
Spoiler alert. John Krasinski dies in the first one, and I totally forgot about that. And Matt did no, don't
you
even
both
go there.
Forgot.
Matt forgot. Yeah.
The most pivotal, like kind of to me crazy that he directed the movie too. So he took himself out as an I know, and I love him so much in that movie.
The whole series is so freaking good. Like, you guys need to go watch the series. And do I recommend going to a theater? No, wait until it comes out.
I'm sure it'll come out soon. You know me.
Whatever it is.
I laughed because you said you were going to go to the movies, and Connor and I both were like, ugh, like movies. And you're like, man, I love the movies. But like Connor and I will do almost everything in our power to avoid the movie theater because it pisses me off. I want to be able to pause it if I need to go pee. I don't like people. There's always someone cackling in the background. I've had at Deerbrook Mall, again, I just shouldn't go to the Deerbrook Mall movie theater. One time I had a kid turning around and throwing candy at me.
No, that's crazy.
He was 4.
I was about to say he should have been kicked out. I didn't realize
he should have been kicked out. No. But we were
the parent should have done something.
We were seeing a scary movie that was rated R, and they brought their 4-year-old in there with them. And he was throwing candy at me, and I finally was like, you need to stop.
Yes.
This is before I had kids, and I was a lot more aggressive. I don't think I was on So Left yet. And I think I almost got in a fight that day.
Yeah. With the 4-year-old or with the mom?
The parents. Because they were like giving me, and the 4-year-old. The parents were like giving me an attitude, and I'm like, you're kidding.
Get them under control or don't take. Well, and also, why do you have your 4-year-old
at a rated
scary
R movie? Like, I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Honestly, could have been A Quiet Place 1.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. But this kid was going crazy. And then afterwards, like once whoever was there with us, like knuckle bumped me because they were like, oh, wow. Because I stood up and I was like, you need to get your kid under control.
Yes.
Or I'm going to go tell somebody.
Well, you're paying good money. And the snacks,
it's not
popcorn,
cheap.
it's so expensive to go. And all that to say, I know I'm griping about the movie theater. Like, Matt and I really had a good day. It was nice to get out just at all. So,
but let me ask you this. Isn't it so weird that when you're away from your children, how much more you like your spouse?
Well, it's probably because we could have a full conversation without one of our kids interrupting us. Yeah, one of them interrupting us in some way because it's either over incessant talking or someone needing a snack. I'm not going to say who is who.
The world will never know.
And then, Matt and I are trying to have a conversation and like I get snippy because my patience is wearing thin because I'm trying to listen to 3 different things happening.
Yes.
And it was really nice just to get to spend time with him. But at the end of the night, I will say, I was like, all right, I'm ready to get back to the kids.
No, but that's the thing about parenting. It is such a weird paradox that you you're like, oh, I do really like my spouse. Like,
yes.
And guess what?
There's a reason why we've been married for 11 years.
And it started with these two people. Like, this is what started it because we liked each other so much.
Yes.
And like each other so much. Connor, I still like you, babe. But whenever you're parenting, you're just so in the thick of it and so in the thick of like getting these tasks done and like, do you need a diaper? Do you need food? Did he hit his head for a seventh time?
Does he have a concussion or brain damage?
God, literally.
It's a lot. It is a lot to balance.
It is. It's funny that it's so different. You're like, oh.
Well, and then naturally, I mean, this is just how it is for us. It's like there's a hierarchy, and my kids are going to come first.
Always.
I'm sorry, babe, but
I think that's the phase of life.
He knows that too, and like we've talked through it and everything. But it's like whenever my kids are like, hungry, that's going to come over us having a conversation. Sure. But then that means there isn't much time for us to just have a conversation
because Tucker never stops eating.
And so it's trying to find the balance.
Always hungry. Well, and I think like that hierarchy of kind of whose needs you're meeting first, that changes over time too. Like
there will be a day where
your kids have their own families. And that's the thing that like I talk to my mother-in-law about, and she always tells me, because I'm like, does it just make you, like I've asked her, does it make you just want to like die that Connor doesn't live with you? Mm-hmm. Like your baby boy, because he's the oldest and he has two sisters too, but like, your first child is just different. Like in the beginning, and I'm like, don't you just like see this little baby that you used to like feed and snuggle and change his diapers, and like now he's a grown man and has his own family. You don't see him very often. And she's like, if I let myself think about it, yes, it makes me sad, but like that's why God gave you teenage years, because you are so annoyed with them and you don't even really like them that much at that point that you're like, go, be free, spread. She's like, then that's like naturally the way it's designed in life, right? Because if your kids moved out when they're in this phase of your life, we would die. I would die if I was separated from Fielding. But he's going to turn 12, and he's going to smell like Fritos, and he's going to be weird, and he's going to be doing weird, like, annoying things. Yeah. Like, God only knows what's going to be then. I won't be making TikTok because that'll be cringy by then, but he'll be making, like, zigzags or whatever, and like, pissing me off, and I'm going to be like, go to college. Goodbye. And, like, you still love them because you retain that, but it is so interesting. And then you have to find your way back to your spouse and like out of this phase of life.
Well, and I think that's why it is important to like still try and keep those connections as much as possible. But it's hard. Like our dates get put on the back burner. Number one, if we do get time as a family, I want to spend it as a unit. Absolutely. Like I want to go do things with the kids. And then number two, like babysitting is expensive. And I mean, I love our babysitters, and they earn every penny that I give them. It's not that, but it's like, you're adding up the date versus what you're paying to hire a babysitter to come watch the kids. And it's just so much where I'm like, oh, well, why don't we just go do something together? It's just easier and it's more fun. I love having the kids there, but
I agree.
It's also important that
making it a priority.
I'm
so bad at
that. And I say that, but it's not something I do right now. We're in the thick of it, and we have to give ourselves grace. And thankfully, like our husbands give the unit, Connor gives you guys grace for that. Matt gives us grace. Yeah. Like, it's just an understanding of like, this is just how it is right now. And it won't always be like this. And there will be a day where we are begging our kids to come and spend time with us.
I know. I always joke that I'm like, Fielding's going to sleep with me until he goes to college. And people are like, okay, creep. I'm like, no, do you understand there will be a day where he doesn't want to snuggle with me anymore? And like, or in a day, I think there's like an actual day where it gets weird. Like you don't want your
10-year-old, 12-year-old
it could be
kid
and no judgment, but it like there is an age where it gets
well, they need to have their own space.
And so it's like that.
That time though comes fast. And so he's 2 now, but by 5 he might be ready for that. And that thought
and
is
knowing him, he will be.
Yeah.
He's going to be kicking me out of my own bed.
He will be. He's going to tell you to take the floor bed.
He's going to be like, go away. I want the king size mattress. Why would you put me in a full? I'm a large man. Yeah. So all that to say. Okay, so Quiet Place 3. Sorry I feel bad.
No. A Quiet Place 3, whatever it is.
Quiet
Place
Day
3.
1.
Matt was starting this movie when I was leaving, and I wanted to talk about it. It's called A Family Affair. It has Zac Efron.
Oh, yes. And Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
And Joey King.
Yes.
What's going on?
Oh, girl, I have so much to say. We are not a pop culture podcast, by the way. we are a pop culture podcast today because I need to talk about this.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just like relevant to our lives and what we're doing.
Zac Efron had major plastic surgery, last year, was it? And
something like that.
Has he been in a movie since that? Like, has he made a big reveal? Maybe one, but it was like small scale, maybe.
Yeah, I don't feel like the last thing I really remember him being in was Neighbors.
That was before.
Yeah,
okay, so that was
I've like seen random pictures of him looking a little rough, but you're telling me.
I am telling you. Picture Shrek when he turns into human form.
Stop! Wait, no, but I think Shrek and I call that sexy Shrek.
Still,
like to the
Zac
average
Efron.
person.
Still Zac Efron, slightly attractive. He did so much work to his face. Oh. It's so bad, and I think I was trying to psychoanalyze him because that's what I do with everybody. Mm-hmm. I think that I should have been a psychiatrist. I would have. Really.
When you're done with this master's degree, go get another
Just go ahead and go on to get a doctorate.
Matt would love that.
Oh, God. Yeah, literally. Okay, so his jaw is like so pronounced. It's so squared off. I can tell he has so much filler, so much Botox. I think his nose has been done. He definitely has like a more defined jawline. My thinking on this is he thought he had too much of a baby face because he came from High School Musical. So true. And he did have a baby face.
Never forget.
Then. And I think that, people fell in love with him at that stage, and I don't think he was ever able to outgrow that necessarily. Yeah. Like, he's still, like, the, like playful guy, funny guy.
Zac Efron had such a renaissance to me when he did, and I didn't even watch this, but, like, when he did that documentary that was, like, him out in the woods, like, roughing it, like, hiking, and he was all, like, had, like, stubble and stuff. I was like, oh, damn, Zac Efron, okay,
I forgot that happened. Was that with Bear Grylls? Or was that, it was completely
it was Bear Grylls adjacent. I don't know that Bear Grylls was, I don't know. I think
maybe he did one episode with Bear Grylls, and maybe he was inspired to go do his own thing.
It was very Bear Grylls.
Do you feel like he had an awakening at that point in his life and then just fell back down this deep Hollywood rabbit hole? Why is there a gnat on my microphone? What the fuck? God.
I don't know. I mean, how old is he? Look it up. Because, like, what do we think? Let me place my bet.
I mean, I think he's probably 33.
You think he's that young? No. Maybe.
I went to Google his name, and the first thing that popped up was Zac Efron jaw. He's 36. And so look at he does have a natural baby face.
Yeah.
And I think what he was trying to do was get rid of that. But in return, he just looks so bad.
Filler, I feel like, can go so wrong so easily. And, like, also we've talked about that before, like, filler migrates. It can. Yes. It doesn't always, but filler can really migrate in your face, because I've really talked about, I have, like, just very dark circles.
And you can get a little filler.
You can get filler under your eyes, and I've seen people do that because, like, my under eye skin is just so thin. There's, like, nothing. Mm-hmm. One, I'm terrified to do it.
Yeah.
Two, I don't want to pay for it. But that's another thing is, like, if someone could tell me that this was going to last forever, not kill me, and not migrate to, like, give me jowls, then, like, okay, maybe. But, like, filler can get weird really quick. And then I think you've got that weird bloated face that makes you look so old, because he looks way older than 36 now.
He does. And I think, if it's just filler, that can be dissolved.
Yeah.
But with his reconstruction surgery, whoever was his plastic surgeon did him wrong.
Yeah.
They did him dirty, and they should have told him, no, you are perfect the way you are, and you do not need this plastic surgery that looks awful.
Well,
I just hate it.
Is so young to, like, get that much of an aggressive
and change his entire face.
Fucking Nat.
No, this is going to drive me
I think you got it.
I don't know. I can't tell. If I did, it fell on me.
But this Nat's making me want to kill myself. Anyways, so
that was that. That's all I wanted to say. I don't even know how the movie is because I only got to watch 10 minutes of it.
But also, what is going on in our culture with this obsession with younger men, older women? Because we had The Idea of You.
Oh, and I have to talk about that too.
Oh, because you read the book? Yeah, right?
I've just started the book.
Which I've heard that the book is more salacious, really, because...
the book is crazy. I'm only 15 pages in, but it's already set the scene. And I was actually, someone I knew from Ohio that I used to work with, we were, messaging back and forth about it because I posted, and she had the exact same thought. So, in The Idea of You, the book, he is just freshly 20. In the movie, he's 24, which we talked about when the movie came out. We said at least his frontal cortex is developed at 24.
A little better.
20. And guess what? Her daughter, who was 17 in the movie, is 12. So she's going after her 12-year-old crushes, like, person. That's who she's going for.
Ugh.
It's so weird. I don't know if I like even want to go ahead and finish it.
In the book, is she still just turning 40?
They haven't revealed her age yet, but she said almost double his age. So I'm guessing 38, 39 is
20?
what I was saying. 20. Just, she thought he was 19 at first, and then he said he was 20. So why is the book, and that's what this girl that I was talking to, she was like, I liked the movie so much better, and I usually can't say that about anything, and that's how I am too. I usually like the book a lot better, but the way they set up the movie, it was more natural, like their occurrence, how they met before she even knew who he was, but in the book, she knew who he was. They got backstage passes.
So, I mean, they really changed.
They changed a lot. It's really not similar.
Which is good. And I think it's different, too, like seeing Anne Hathaway, who looks freaking amazing, and then Nick Galitzine.
Whatever.
Like, he's so attractive. And he also looks older. Like, he has that boy band look. I can see it. But he also looks more mature.
So that casting is closer where you don't feel as uncomfortable with that age gap.
No.
But yes, with The Family Affair, I think it ends up being Nicole Kidman, who is older, dating Zac Efron. And so
the whole thing is that the daughter, Joey King, is Zac Efron's assistant.
Which
is gross. I'm just like, what is the statement on our culture that's like what we're talking about right now? That's like so hot in the media. Is it that we're having like more older moms like getting involved in social media, and so we're catering to them, like the TikTokiness of like these things?
Or is it
like,
trying to make a statement? I've thought about it where it's like, oh, we're so comfortable for the most part with like if there's an older man and a younger woman, but does it make it us uncomfortable when it's
women,
when it's swapped? But I think it makes me uncomfortable regardless if it's a 20-year-old dating a 40-year-old.
20 years old is crazy. No. You were just a teenager.
No, thank you.
You're a child. He can't drink. Goodbye. But I also want to say, since you were just talking about your 11-year anniversary, you were 19 when you got married. So how do you feel like watching these things? Like, what does that make you feel about your experience?
The difference is
Matt wasn't older than you, but I'm just saying, like, we're laughing about these people being so young.
Well, he was 21 and I was 19, and I think we were both. I think it would be way different. I would feel different if like I had met a 40-year-old and I was 19.
Beyond.
Now, looking back on it, me being 19, I can say, oh my God, if my daughter or my son came home to me at 19 and told me they were getting married, I would say, no, you're not.
And also, you got engaged when you were 18, didn't you?
I had just graduated high school when we got engaged.
And then you went to your freshman year of college.
Yes.
And so your anniversary is June 29th, your birthday is June 14th. So
I had just turned 19.
19, like a week before your wedding.
It's crazy to think back to that time in my life. And I'm like, oh, and you know, we come from a very, very like Bible Belt region. And so it was very normal for us. But now being out of that norm, I'm like, over my dead body would my kids come home and tell me they were getting married at 19.
Well, I think it's also way different as a parent too. And I think just as you get older, you look back on things and you're like, what the hell? And like, I'm asking you that question. I was 22 when I got married. It's not like I was that much older. And I was 22, Connor was 24, and I thought we were like so mature.
You feel like you feel so old,
right? And Connor and I did like old people things very early. Like we bought a house very early. We like there are certain things we did that were like more mature moves. I think.
Yes,
and you guys too. And so it's like I think that you get kind of wrapped into that, but it's so interesting as I get older and I see people that are my age that are not married or don't have children, and it's like I'm very grateful that I have had Fielding when I did, because I was 26 when he was born, almost 27. And like, I think that I have more energy, and also I'm going to have like more time with him ultimately, right? Like it's just mathematically, I will have more life with my son, hopefully, God willing. But it's just so interesting because I look at these people that are like 25 or 24 and I'm like, oh, my little angel, you're so tiny.
Yeah, yes, like, that's what I think about Colby, my cousin, who's in the Army, and he's 22.
I was going to say, how old is he now?
22, and I just see him as like, he's the baby of our group, and so it's just wild because I was a baby. Yeah. I was a baby when we got married, and like, thank God, we have stuck through like thick and thin, but we've also worked our butts off to be where we're at, and like where we're at in our relationship, where we're at in life. Yeah. But it took two very strong-willed people to do that. And it's been, there's always bumps, but it's like we learned so much and we got to grow up together. So I guess on the flip side of that, like you say, like you had Fielding younger. And so it kind of on the flip side of that, with marriage, it's like I'll get so much more time with Matt because I met him at 19.
Oh, that's what I was going to say
or
earlier.
Not met him. I married him at 19. I met him at 16 and
I was
going to
say, y'all have been together for 14 years. In 3 years, you will have been with Matt longer than you have been without Matt.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
Like, he will be part of your life. That's how my grandparents always were. And I think it's so beautiful. And like, my grandpa passed away in October last year. And so my grandma, like, it's, horrible, sad, and just a tough loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, I can't say anything. Like, I'm so grateful. They were married for 56 years.
That's incredible.
You know what I mean? It's like,
yes.
So she's like, what can I complain about? Some people lose their husbands when they're in their 20s. And it's just like, that's so sad. And she's like, I got so much time with my like best friend in this whole entire world.
Yep.
But she's like, the problem with, she always says, the problem with a great marriage is that whenever someone dies, it sucks way worse because you really liked each other.
Yeah.
I'm like, accurate, Cynthia. You're so right. Like, damn.
Well, I think about it in the way that, I've been with Matt 14 years now, and that's the time that I had my mom. And so it's like the same amount of time, and it's so crazy because we've lived this whole life, but yet it seems so small in the grand scheme of things. And so it's crazy to see where we're at.
Time is
now.
a weird
So
thing.
It is. It's like definitely like a vortex.
Yeah,
Just depends on the day of how I'm feeling like about time. Like, does it feel slow or fast, whatever?
Well, we were talking about it before we started recording. You said you and Addie got the cutest matching outfits.
Shout out Old Navy.
Yeah, no, like literally so cute. But you were like, she fit in the 5-year-old's clothes. And I was like, well, she's about to be 5. But you're like, I know. But it's just so funny because I was like cleaning out my camera roll today and I said, we're sending you some pictures of baby Addie. And I'm like, this feels like yesterday that I was flying to Ohio and meeting her when she was 3 weeks old for the first time. And like my little tiny baby, and we were just like, she was so in love with her. And like, not that I'm not in love with her now, but it's just so different whenever she was like the first baby of the group, so brand new, so tiny. Addie weighed 5 pounds, 11 ounces when she was born. The teeniest little baby.
She was so
little. It's just so, I'm like, that's what I think of her as still. And we've had 2 more kids since then. And like the boys, God love them, but they're demons.
They're into everything.
They're into everything. But like Addie, she was the first one and a little girl. It was just like this sweet little time in life. And it's just like crazy. That was 5 years ago. Like I just cannot reconcile.
Well, and that time lasted long too because I think with having the boys close together, it's like we got this long stint of time with Addie of just like her being like the center of mine and Matt's universe. And then so also, in return, obviously, center of your universe. And even Connor's, like to an extent. Like it's just so funny. Like that was his first introduction to like
do you
a
remember,
kid.
I would keep Addie overnight sometimes.
Yes.
Like, not a lot, but like I'd be like, do you need a break? Like if the guys were out of town, I would keep her by myself.
Yes.
And because I was like, I want to have a sleepover with her when she was not even a year old yet. And it's just so funny because I'm like, poor Tucker. Like he only got a sleepover with me because Matt broke his rib. I'm like,
I know, and I had to drop him off over, or Connor took him. Yeah. I mean, it's so different now.
It's so different. Well, it's just like, it's so different too because I have my own kid now. And I feel, we've talked about this before, I feel bad for Tucker because I'm like, man, I gave so much more energy to Addie, but it's like, I didn't have my own child.
But now he gets the energy of fielding and
so
you.
True.
So that equals like the energy you gave into Addie because he gets a little best friend that he gets to play with.
I had fielding so that Tucker would have a friend.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
You weren't even pregnant with Tucker. There was like a, a month.
Knew.
There was a month period where neither of us were pregnant.
And it was amazing.
It was great. Not really, because I was like so freshly postpartum. And then I have like a 2-month-old and you were pregnant throwing up and it was like chaos. And then we have Addie running around who's 2.5. And it was like, we're in hell.
Yes. Yeah.
We're in hell.
And now we're getting to the fun stage.
So fun.
We're getting to
we're
finally so close to the fun stage. And all of this is fun, y'all. Like, don't take me wrong when I say that.
But parenting gets so much more fun.
When we can take our eyes off of them for 5 minutes and know that they're not trying to kill themselves like by jumping off of something. So, or trying to swallow something that they're not supposed to.
Sucking on wallflowers.
Yeah.
Well, I tell everyone that is like a new parent or expecting parent, I'm like, parenting is so hard. It's going to get so much better. To me, and maybe this is just personal preference, every stage is better. Like I enjoy him more and more and more and more. And I like think, oh my God, this is the peak. Like there's no way I can love him anymore. And then he does something new and I'm like, oh my God, you're so funny.
Yes.
Like, and then, I mean, like there's obviously things you like wish away. Like I wish it was easy to go eat at a restaurant. And I wish it was easy to take him in public and him not be a psychopath.
It gets more and more fun though. I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, it's like with Addie, like now, and like the reason you want to take her to Disney World so bad is because she loves the experience, and experiencing things with her is so fun because she's at that phase where it's amazing. And like same with Fielding, the more and more we like, as he grows and gets older and he looks at stuff and he's like, wow. I'm like,
yes.
whatever you want to do, let's do it. It's so exciting. Like,
I'll give my left arm so you can go to Disney. Fine.
So
okay.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll sell my kidney. It's fine. I have not read a lot this week, unfortunately, but I am kind of thinking of doing something crazy.
What?
And this, may ruffle some feathers.
What are you going to do?
I'm thinking of rewatching Game of Thrones.
No, I love that. Wait, would that be your third time, though?
Second.
Oh, okay.
Second time.
Okay.
Connor didn't watch it with me the first time, though.
Oh, so you guys have to watch it.
Should we all watch it together?
Yes! Let's do it.
No, so let me tell you the reason this inspired me and what I do in my free time. This is my guilty pleasure. I lay in bed and I watch Facebook videos and I just watch.
You're so old.
No, it's embarrassing.
Facebook videos.
And I just see clips of the show. So I basically rewatched the whole show already through Facebook clips in like the last 2 days. But I'm like, oh my God, it's so good.
It was such a good series. So that series, if you are freshly postpartum, I recommend starting that because what I did, I think you recommended it to me. Maybe Lauren did too. So many people did. So I did that while I had Tucker. And whenever I would wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning for his feeds, I would just turn on the TV because Addie and Matt sleep through everything. And I would turn it on and watch an episode while I fed him. And it made it so much more enjoyable.
I watched the entirety of the show on my maternity leave.
Yes.
That was like my goal for myself. And it was amazing.
I did that as well.
Yeah, I think I encourage you to do it. And I think I've encouraged a lot of people because you have to pay attention. So it's like stimulating for your brain whenever you're brain dead.
You have to follow all of the characters.
And now that I know, it's like books too. I enjoy everything on the second pass more. But like now that I know who lives and who dies and everything else, I think I would enjoy it more because I feel like the first time I watched it, I was so stressed out. Because one thing Game of Thrones does, they shock you. Kill a main character in 1 second.
Care.
First episode, or no, first season. Last episode, they kill off like the person you've been following this whole time, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Yes,
and that's the thing. Like now that I know who lives and who dies, I think I would enjoy it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was trying to.
You should
talk Connor into
definitely watch it. And
I know
we'll watch it right along.
We
with
just have like such a limited amount of time. We're really in a next level chef right now.
Hey,
Connor and I love
that's what I watched
shows.
while I was pregnant with Addie with my grandma when she was staying with us for a little bit.
Chopped, right?
Yeah, like any type of chef.
I watched Beat Bobby Flay.
Yes,
and I think it was on. Not Peacock, something like that though, ABC app maybe. But I watched, I think, 22 seasons of Beat Bobby Flay when I was on maternity leave because the episodes are 22 minutes without commercials. So it was like, boom, boom, boom. I could blow through 10 episodes.
22 seasons.
But think about it. I could blow through 10 episodes in no amount of time, like 4 hours or whatever. So I heard 2, whatever, I'm trying to say I'm so bad at math. But we watch that so much. So Connor and I are watching Next Level Chef and we get kind of excited. But I think I'm ready to foray back into Game of Thrones.
Okay, do it. And
that's on that if anyone wants to watch with me.
I have been a busy girl with like reading and
I know, you've been reading so much. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. I am very proud of myself.
But
I watched one more show on Netflix. It's a short, like a limited series. It's called Eric. It has Benedict Cumberbatch in it, which I never thought got the craze. Do you remember when he was like big for a little while? And I never understood it.
What is it? Is it the name or is it the face? The name is so hard for me to get past.
It's his je ne sais quoi. Like his just
not the je ne sais quoi.
Like you have to actually watch a movie with him in it, and that is not all of the
Marvel where he's like Doctor.
Movies.
What is it called? Doctor Strange.
Yes,
Ew.
One that he's not Doctor Strange in. Like I can't do Doctor Strange.
He's not hot to me.
No, he's not. But he like has. I don't know. I really liked his character development.
Wait, pause. Are you saying the je ne sais quoi makes him hot or makes him not hot?
Makes him hotter.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's definitely not in my top 10, but
solid.
Just
you
in
heard
general,
it
like in case you ever watch this or listen to it,
he's like this bitch.
I've been after Zac Efron today and Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Whoever else.
I'm coming after all you bitches.
Whoever else you've had transgressions against. Morgan Wallen. They're all forming an anti-Courtney group right now
because I just talked shit on all of them. But the show was really good. It was about a son that goes missing in the 70s.
Yes, I've seen clips from that on also Facebook.
Oh, God. You've basically seen it all.
Yeah, that's what I do.
It was good. I mean, Matt walked into a couple of the episodes. He's like, because he just does not understand like what I like to watch sometimes. Yeah. He's like, what the fuck are you watching? Because it had like this big like monster type thing. I'm like, well, it's in his imagination because he's like going crazy because his kid is missing. So it's a whole storyline. I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I would definitely watch it. It's six episodes on Netflix. Yeah, we'll do that. So it was really good. And then I finished The Women.
Oh, the book.
The book that I read.
The Kristen Hanna book.
Holy shit. I texted Carol right after because I knew she had read it. And I was like, this book was amazing. Like The Nightingale, which is also by Kristen Hanna, and The Women like rank in, they're my top number ones. They're tied. It was so good. It was very powerful. I actually want to do, by more research, I mean just Google. But I want to do more research into... So I was going to say I could ask my grandpa, but like what we talked about the last episode,
Poppy's like nope.
These Vietnam vets, like they don't talk about it, but it was interesting to me because you got to see a side that when they came home, people were mad at them. Yeah. They were angry at them. Protesting the war of what they had done. But like when you think about it, they didn't have a choice in this. They were following orders from Nixon.
Drafted,
They were, and that's what Matt, I was talking to him about this, getting fired up about this fictional book, but it takes
historical
fictional pieces into it. And I'm fired up about it. And he goes, and the thing that, at the time they were drafted, they did not have a choice to go. Yeah. And the story, just to repeat a little bit from last week, is about the women who served. And like these women were coming back with all of this PTSD. And the woman that this, the character in the story, she would go to the VA and ask for help. Like, I need some sort of counseling therapy. And they're like, I'm sorry, women didn't serve in Nam. And she goes, but I was there. And like,
bitches.
Makes me just want to like break in half thinking about all of these women who did serve. They just served in a different capacity. Right. But they weren't recognized. But neither were the men in there. And then it also talked about the historical in DC that they have the
I don't know if you're a museum.
Yeah, like not a museum.
The memorial.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Historical memorial that didn't happen until 10 years after all of these men came back.
Yep.
And I don't know how accurate this is, but someone got up on a podium and they're like, thank you for your service. And they're like, after 10 years, I finally got to thank you. And I'm like, well, no wonder our vets don't talk about this because they were shamed into it. They were drafted. They had no choice. And so now I'm like, obsessing because I get like this. I'm obsessing over Vietnam, history. So I definitely want to just research.
Well, and it's one of those things. Like, I mean, as a U.S. history teacher, Vietnam is one of those things that's not talked about that much. Everyone has such a hyperfixation on World War II.
No, that's what's crazy. I've always watched so many movies about World War II. I've read so many books, but yet Vietnam is somehow it's still washed under the rug.
And it happened so much closer to like our lives. Especially, I mean, your grandpa served, but also just like it's. World War II was 80-something years ago. I'm so bad at math, it's honestly scary. 80 years ago. It ended. And Vietnam was in the 80s, right? 70s, 80s?
70s,
so, like, it's not...
60s through...
As a U.S. history teacher, I'm a dumbass.
I think, is when... I don't know how long it lasted, but the book was based in, like, 65 through 68 or something like that. So, I mean, just, like... I cannot recommend that book enough. And now I'm reading The Idea of You and it just seems like such a joke compared to it. But I also needed a break. It was very heavy, and I did realize like it would affect my mood. Like I got so into the book that
books do that.
I was like in my head about everything, like processing everything.
Processing?
Processing.
Oh.
What did you think I said?
Processing.
Oh no, I was processing just all of the information.
Well, and you feel like a good book will make you feel like you're in it, like it's happening to you, even if it's not. It feels like it is. When you ended the book, were you like sobbing, or were you more like just reflecting on?
I was reflecting. I sobbed. I cried like middle of the book. It's just funny. Uno reversed me. Ooh. The Nightingale, I sobbed at the end. I mean, just uncontrollable. And with this one, it was more in the middle. And then at the end, I was reflecting and just like happy for the character. So,
oh, good.
Anyways,
that's good. That ends on a good
you
note.
guys all better go read that. And
yes,
everyone, we need to be brushing up on our Vietnam history.
You heard it here first. Vietnam was a war.
Now we're pop culture. Now
and
podcast.
History.
Now we're a history podcast. I read one book.
You know more than me already. I will say one book that I want you to read, which I don't think I have it, but I'd be happy to buy the physical copy, is oh my God, Jodi Picoult, My Sister's Keeper. Have you read that?
I've read several books by Jodi Picoult. My Sister's Keeper. I don't think I've read that one.
The movie is dog shit.
Yeah.
With Cameron Diaz?
Doesn't do it justice.
Cameron Diaz? Do bet. No, Courtney, not even that doesn't do it justice. They changed the end. Oh. A different character dies in the movie than who dies in the book. And the book, it is...
How can they do that? That's not okay.
It's horrible. And like and I understand like you've got to take some creative like liberties here, but in the book, the mom is described as being like this curvy woman with thick, black, curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Who casted Cameron Diaz?
Skinny blonde.
I hope you should be fired. Check. Fired. Jail. You should go to jail. Not even fired. Jail. It makes me so mad. I watched that movie and they got some things close, but man, that movie pissed me off. But that book, that is one of the first books I think that I ever read. I read that in high school. I mean, sobbing, like had to put it down, couldn't see the pages because I was crying so hard. And that is a book you should read. Like
I'll read it.
Yeah. Because it's like similar strokes to like the seriousness, but also will give you like a little more peace, maybe. Hopefully, I don't know.
I'll read that.
And
Grace also just got done. She got done reading Firefly Lane, which I watched the Netflix
we
series.
Watched that. We were sobbing. With
she did not watch Netflix series, so she didn't know the ending, and she was like, "I'm destroyed at the ending." So I have some books like that. I'm such on a roll that I don't
really remember Firefly Lane that well. I remember what happens.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember which one it happens to, but I know it happened and we were crying about that. And then do you remember the one time the guys were out of town and we watched that movie where the girl thinks she's pregnant but she has stomach cancer?
Oh my God.
Irreplaceable You.
Yes. Bawling.
Oh my God. You and I are sitting on the couch. This was in Ohio. We're sitting on the couch in my living room. I think you stayed the night that night because we were so upset. Like the guys were out of town and we're like, fuck.
There are some movies and books that will stay with you forever. And The Nightingale and The Women are two books that hands down. And Jodi Picoult, the other one that stays with me is 19 Minutes. Yes,
19 Minutes is so
the school shooting.
It's about a school shooting. But it's so that if you've never read a Jodi Picoult book, she is an amazing author and she really toggles between perspectives, which I like. And 19 Minutes is about a school shooting. And I mean, it was written in the early 2000s, I think. Like they had flip phones in the book.
Yes.
It wasn't like in modern day, but it's so interesting because she does like POVs from the shooter, from the shooter's mom, the dad. It's
powerful.
Very
Tristan
powerful.
is the one, my friend from Ohio is the one who introduced me to Jodi Picoult and then that book as well. And it's a heavy, heavy read.
It's heavy, but
powerful. And I think there are certain books that like everyone needs to read just to like have better understanding of the world of people.
Yes.
And that is one of them.
Oh my God. Such a good book. I think I've read that book so many times. I don't have the physical copy. I have it on my phone. But it is truly amazing. Truly amazing. How long have we been talking?
Newsflash, everybody. We are at 47 minutes. So, I mean, we may not make it through everything, and I think that's okay. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I do see.
Okay.
I do. This is embarrassing. Sorry, everybody. I don't even know. Like, is anyone even listening anymore? Whatever the fuck are we talking about? In pop culture, Vietnam War, like
book talk.
We have it all. Shit. We're
just well-rounded girlies.
Yeah, the thing is, we're just so smart. And
we have so much to talk about.
Charismatic, and we're so intellectual, and so sometimes it's just hard to narrow things down.
You would also think that we go long stints of time without talking, and yet
we talk literally every single day. We FaceTime minimum once a day,
and we still have this much to talk about. So I'm worried that if we had distance apart, like what would that look like for our podcast?
I was telling someone asked me. They said they listened to the podcast, and she was like, "How did you and Courtney meet?" And shout out Kendall. I did her hair the other day, but she was asking me about how we met and how we lived across the country from each other and how it was hard because whenever we moved back to Louisiana to Louisiana, y'all still lived in Ohio. And I was like, but our thing was we did not go 6 weeks without seeing each other.
Yeah.
6 weeks was our max.
Yep.
And we saw each other more than we saw our families.
Yeah.
Because we were like, no.
Well, we made it a point.
And we like, one time we met in Nashville because it was like almost in the middle.
Yes, you guys brought your camper. We brought our camper. Drove down and then we stayed in the camper.
With 3 fucking dogs. R.I.P. Snowball.
Matt and I are on the pull-out couch. Yes. Like, was there a pull-out couch in the middle? I don't even remember.
Yeah, pull-out couch in my camper living room.
I didn't know if it was a blow-up mattress or a pull-out
I think we put a blow-out mattress on top of the pull-out couch because it was not comfortable. No, it's just so funny that, like, it doesn't matter how far apart we are. We're still going to talk every day and still going to be annoying. That's just, like, how we live.
Yeah.
But then also, guess who else has that separation anxiety? Your daughter. Because y'all came over Friday and we had, like, a movie night with the kids. And at first we were, like, not sure if it was going to happen because it just kind of, like, got later.
Yeah.
Fielding took a late nap. Matt took a nap. Da-da-da-da-da. And then you were like, we're coming. Like, we got to do it. Addie's asking, whatever. Addie
for the 100th time
could not get a hold of herself. She was so excited to see me.
She was so
excited. It was honestly so sweet though. Like, and you were like, Adeline, sit down, stop talking. Cause she was like,
just calm down a minute.
But she was so excited to see me. And it honestly made me feel so good because it was just like, it was so pure and so sweet that she was like so happy to be there. Her and Fielding were so happy to see each other. They were wrestling on a mattress.
She went and like hugged him so hard. She goes, I love you, Fielding. And he was just smiling. It was so cute.
So sweet. It's the best. It's seriously the best. And so I'm glad we translated that aggression to your daughter of just like
loves everybody so much.
Yeah. Also, before we, actually move on to
after 47 minutes.
Well, I just want to tell the world what they have to look forward to. I'm flying to Michigan tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
I'm flying on a plane with my son.
She's going to be gone for an entire week. She's going to be living it up in some
not
cooler
international.
weather.
What's the other word?
Domestic travel?
I mean, it is domestic travel. Interstate travel.
I was say domestic travel doesn't sound as cool, though.
I still feel like there's something else I want to say, but it's not that. Anyways, so Fielding will go on his, I think, 3rd flight. I guess we haven't flown anywhere else with him. His 3rd flight, then we have a 3.5-hour drive once we land. So please, by the time you're hearing this, we've already done it. So Godspeed. But
it's going to be great.
I'm a little nervous.
Just tranquilize him if you have to.
I'm a little nervous. That man is on a mission. We bought a new leash backpack with a leash that does
Addie brings in the leash backpack she found in Fielding's room. She goes, is this for your dog?
I forgot about this.
And you're like, no, that's for Fielding. She goes, for Fielding.
But who's the dog? I said, Fielding is the dog.
She couldn't comprehend why he would be on a leash.
The dog is Fielding.
And so then, naturally, he had the backpack on, and she had control.
Come here,
of the
little
leash.
doggy. And then Fielding now, anytime he sees a dog on TV, he goes,
oh my God.
He should have done that, but yeah, he's probably going to be doing that in the airport. I don't know. We tried to put the backpack on him yesterday, full meltdown. So,
no. Well, it's like, walk with us or full meltdown.
I know,
you pick your choice,
I'm
buddy.
not bringing a stroller, homie. It's not happening. You're not going to, you're going to end up not being in it 90% of my life,
and
it's
we're trying
not
to
worth it.
finagle it around.
Not worth it. So, no stroller.
It's going to be great.
We're white knuckling it.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. If you don't hear from me again, I died from stress. And then you're going to Oklahoma what day? Wednesday?
On Wednesday night. Yeah. So our trick to traveling is we just travel when we're driving 6 hours at night. That way the kids will sleep. Anytime we come back, though, we can't do that because it's usually a Sunday and Matt has to work on Monday. And so on that, we just cross our fingers and hope for the best. But we did learn last time the trick is I just have to be in the very back where both the kids, Tucker can see me and Addie can talk to me. Access me just in general. And then Matt is the one that has to drive. So if Matt's in the back, like both kids are not happy. So
they're like, get out of here, Dad. Where's the lady we like?
It's so funny. I'm in the very back seat and I'm reading my book because I was reading The Women on the way back. And Matt looks back and he's like, this is not fair. When I was in the back, he was literally doing a circus act to keep them both entertained, passing snacks and toys. I can't believe that
you could read in the 3rd row and not throw up.
No, that's what I was saying last week. I was really surprised that I wasn't getting sick, but I was just more determined on the book because I was like so into it. And I think because I laser focused, it was fine.
Good. I'm happy for you. Okay. Anyways.
I mean, should we even
I think we should do the one mom traum.
Okay. Oh, we have one good mom traum. Yes. I do want to share this one.
We have a couple, but keep submitting your mom traums, please. Seriously. Yes. I need to post them more before we record, but then I forget. And I'm like, shit, we're recording in 24 hours.
They're such good stories, guys. I think you guys underestimate yourself of how funny your shit is going to be.
Yes.
And I mean, it doesn't even have to be funny, but this one was her son. Okay. I'll just say he surprised me and traumatized me with a drawing that I was so proud of. I was in the room feeding my daughter, and he came in with his little drawing board and said, Mom, look, I drew a sailboat with 2 sails. One has a heart and the other has my sister eating. Like, what? How did you draw that? Sure enough, he turns the board to me and there's a little person laying there drinking milk from the saggiest looking boobs. This little 5-year-old, of all things to draw, decorates his sailboat with that. With saggy boobs.
Because, so I want to say that the sister he's talking about is like 9 months old, so she's breastfeeding still.
Yes.
And so that's why he's like, look, baby sister's eating off your deflated balloons.
It's like, can you not like talk me up and like draw some normal looking boobs? They have to be.
Make me look like a Twin Peaks girl or don't come back.
You know better than that. And she said, no, like some may think it's weird. I don't think it's weird at all because he just knows that it's just how some babies get their food to live. And she's always been really open about that. And he literally doesn't talk about boobs in any way other than to feed babies. And like, it's just a normal 5-year-old to really just stick that, dagger in and twist it for you.
That's like what they do.
Addie did to me this week while we were at the pool at the gym that I go to. And I'm wearing a black one piece, like the most conservative thing I could think of. And she looks at me, she goes, Mama, are you growing a baby? I was like, no, excuse me? No, I'm not growing a baby. Like, I'm sorry. And I told her, I said, no, I just have a little bit of a belly. And I was like, that was number one. Number two, you don't ask people that.
No, ma'am.
No matter what you think, you don't ask. Well, the next day we were at the pool and there was this cute little pregnant girl and she had a crop top on, like to go to the pool. And so her belly was just sticking out. Freaking adorable. She was probably 7-8 months pregnant. But Addie, as loud as can be, she goes, that girl's going to have a baby. And this couple was so sweet. They started laughing and Matt's like, sorry, she's 4. Like, you'll know one day. And they're like, oh, we have a 5-year-old in like the daycare so right now. Like, we get it. But it's like, girl, you can't go around saying that.
What will happen is that someday she'll be like, a baby, which I think we all do. I think that's the natural part of life that someone, you're going to do it because I think we all did that when we were kids. It was like, oh, you've got a baby in your tummy and someone's like, no, I'm just fat. And then it traumatizes you. Addie's going to do that as well.
It's like her rite of passage, I guess.
Yeah, like you have to.
But I don't want that to be at the expense of a stranger.
I know, God. But I still struggle with that. Like, I mean, you know me. I love talking to strangers. It's one of my pastimes. I'm like, hey. And my mother-in-law and I laugh because we're both this way. We'll be like, who's going to talk to us? Like, we're in an elevator and we're like making eye contact with everybody. Like, who's going to be the winner?
Meanwhile, I'm darting eye contact from people.
Meanwhile, strangers come up to Connor and want to talk to him. No one ever tries to talk to me. And I'm like, please talk to me. But I look at people and I'm sometimes like, oh, are you excited? But I have to hold my tongue because I want to talk to people and then they might not be pregnant. I'm terrified of that. Because if I do that as an adult, it's one thing whenever your 4-year-old does it as an adult.
I mean, you should be kicked off the elevator if that's the case.
No, I would have to go bury myself alive. Like, I couldn't. There would be no redeeming that. There would be no redemption.
So, cheers to saggy boobs and
Amen,
4
sister.
and 5-year-olds that really just want to
Ruin
give it
your
to
life.
you. Give it to you all day,
life.
every day.
That's a fact.
I think we can all relate.
Yes. Well, do you have any mom traumas for this week?
It was just the, Addie thinking that I had
perfect.
a baby.
That was a mom trauma. I don't really have any mom traumas necessarily. I talked about it a little bit on our last episode, but we graduated from swim lessons, which was great.
Yay!
And truly, this lady who does swim lessons kind of in our area, she, I think, is in her 70s. She is a baby whisperer.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrifying and brutal and emotionally exhausting. The skills my child has as a 2-year-old. He is diving to the bottom of the pool for toys. He is floating on his back for minutes at a time.
Yeah.
He is swimming on his stomach to the edge of the pool. He's able to swim forward on his front, flip over to his back, swim on his front, flip over to,
it's baby boot camp.
No, it's
that will save his life.
It'll save his life. And that's what she said. She's like, he is so stubborn, but he's not going to drown. Mm-hmm. And I'm just really glad that an outside force could tell me that he was stubborn because I know that, but it's always good to be validated. The first thing she told me this week, God, he is solid. I don't know how you carry this kid around. And I'm like, correct, me neither.
Barely.
Me neither. And then 2, that he is stubborn. And I was like, that is also correct. And she's like, I'm sure I'm just getting the tail end of it. I'm like, yeah, you better believe it because he's crazy. And he just screams the whole time. And then on Fridays, you get in the pool with them and have to do the lesson with them. And Connor had to throw him in head first. And Connor was crying at swim lessons. And I was like, there's no crying in swim lessons. You need to man up.
Buckle up.
I've been here all week.
Buttercup.
I've been here all week. listening to the crying by myself. You don't get to cry. So anyways, Connor was like silently crying, just wiping his eyes. It was really sweet. It's so sweet that he's very tenderhearted towards Fielding. But I was just like, no, bitch. It's Thursday. I've been here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday by myself. Let's go saddle up, homie. But we got in there and he did amazing. He did amazing. It's like very counterintuitive to let your kid like be underwater and not pick them up. But Miss Glendy, who's a swim teacher, she's like, don't baby him. I'm like, yes, ma'am.
It's boot camp for the kids, but also for the adults. It really is.
She says that. She's like, I have to train you. That's why we get in the pools on Fridays, because she's like, I have to train you on how to train him.
Yeah.
And like, whatever.
Amazing.
She is amazing, and I love her, and I would die for her. But we graduated. My son shouldn't drown. Amen.
There you go.
Amen.
There you go.
And that's like my cheer of the week. I don't even really have any jeers other than that I have not packed a single thing, and I leave in...
You never do. I mean, you pack
I certainly
last
don't.
minute,
I am a last minute packer, but what time is it? Go ahead and give me a time.
5:09.
5:09. I leave in 15 hours. Well, I have to be my plane leaves the ground in 15 hours.
I know Lauren is going to listen to this, and you are going to be stressing my sister out.
Lauren, guess what? Me, Connor, and Fielding haven't packed a single item of clothing, and we have to be at the airport in approximately 13 hours.
She's having a panic attack right now.
I wrote out a list this morning. Haven't done anything about it. I still have to wash my baseball cap because it smells like dirty hair.
The thing is, if you're waiting last minute to pack for a weekend for just you, it's different.
The whole family's
like for
crazy.
Fredericksburg, the fact that you're leaving for a week to the lake where you need multiple different kinds of outfits and you're packing for the family, yeah, it stresses me out a little bit.
It's psychotic. Yeah. I probably won't pack till 11 p.m. tonight if we're being honest. That's just like how I live my life. It's not good. It's chaotic.
You don't recommend, but you do you, girl.
But you know what the thing is that I do better if I'm like manically focused on something versus like trying to do it like all day. Like I need to manic focus for 30 minutes
because I can draw it out.
I
don't draw it out over days, really. Where I'll start, pick it back up instead of just get it done.
Was it last year though that you had to mail me my Zoloft?
That I what?
Mailed me my Zoloft. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, yes.
I forgot all my medication, birth control, Zoloft. I had Fielding, so it must have been last year or the year before. Yeah. But so if you don't...
It was year before.
So if you don't take Zoloft because you're normal loser, what's your personality about?
Who's not taking Zoloft?
Literally. But you cannot just cold turkey anything that's like an SSRI or whatever. Like
it's an anxiety medicine.
It's an anxiety and depression medication. You cannot just get off of it. It will make you lose your shit because it's helping your brain regulate the amount of oxytocin, serotonin,
so
whatever.
So if that's zapped away and you're not regulating,
like, not be okay. Like that's one thing they tell you. Like if you want to decrease or come off or whatever, like you can't just cold turkey it. You will get suicidal. Like it's very, very, very bad side effects. And I'm not on a crazy high dose, but enough where like I can't. There's no.
Yeah,
weaning.
Well, there's a reason why you're on it.
Absolutely.
So your body needs it, is what I'm saying.
And I've been on Zoloft for years at this point. And I forgot it in Houston, and I got there, and I was like, Connor, I forgot my Zoloft. Like, this is not good. And did you mail it to me, or did I end up getting it refilled?
No, you ended up... Yeah,
I think I got a refill.
But I was ready to mail it to you because I know hashtag mental health awareness. Like we're also mental health podcast now.
This is your mental health history and
please
whatever
never
else.
take advice from us on mental health.
We do not have it together.
No, we are not. We are not qualified
Courtney,
for that.
They know because we have a podcast. That's
You're telling me that this isn't a surprise to these people?
We're talking to these people. There's not even mics here. We're not even recording. We're just hallucinating.
These people are just all of our family. That's it.
That's like, dear God, they're just turning it on and muting it for views for us.
Like my cousin Colby, who's like, yeah, like I will listen to it for 5 seconds to give you the listen. But I said, you don't want to listen to two girls talk for an hour? You know, he's 22.
Like, not just two girls, two grown women.
Yeah. Like, I don't see what's wrong with you.
The opposite
you don't want to listen to that,
of
Colby.
An age group that he thinks is cool, attractive, interesting. Yeah. He's like, no. But I will say, Colby did want to talk to me on the phone the other day, and it did make me feel good.
He did ask if he could be on the podcast.
To which I said, no.
We said no. But I did tell him, send in some dating stories. I know you have them. He's in the Army. So give us some dating stories, Colby.
I just lectured him the whole time.
I mean, that's what you do because you're like a step-in big sister.
I said
this is my cousin, but I'm basically the big sister.
How old was he
him.
whenever you moved in with them?
I mean, I don't know, 10, 8.
Little.
He was little.
10,
Not
8,
even
6.
10. I don't know. Like 4.
10,
I don't
8,
know.
6. Okay, well, he's 22 now.
I know. Well, so
he was 6.
It intertwines because, like, we grew up.
He was 8.
Like, you know how now is a trend to live on a commune? Well, I look back and I realize I was on a commune. We just didn't call it that because we all lived on 10 acres. My aunt,
that.
my grandma, and us all in 3 different houses.
Literally goals.
So, like, I grew up with Colby from the very beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched him when I was probably way too young to, like, babysit him while Rosie and Tony
He's
went
alive.
on a date.
He's alive, isn't he?
Barely, but he's alive. So anyways, I mean, I've just always, like, been that big sister role for him, but it was solidified whenever I had to move in with him whenever I was 14. So.
And I don't know when my big sister role moved in for Colby, but I think that we naturally...
It's definitely, like, coming to fruition even more now.
Yeah.
Well, like, it already was,
but you also,
naturally.
One thing about me is that I'm going to insert myself in anyone's family.
I love that.
I don't know. Your family, I think, at first was like, who is this bitch? And I was like, what's up, motherfuckers? I'm here. My name's Emily. I'm ready to party. And they were like, Courtney, is your friend, why is your friend at Thanksgiving? And I'm like, what's up? Where's the turkey? What's up, dog?
Well, and now it's like, to me, it's the more, the merrier.
Oh, yeah.
Like, your family invites me over for, like, anything.
Well, I think my family has always been so used to me being like, yeah, no, like, all my friends are coming over.
Yes.
So, like, like, this is what we're doing. And your family, I think yours and Matt's family were like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, no. We're family now.
Trust me on this.
We're family.
Trust the process.
We are family. And now your mother-in-law will, like, text me, and I'm like, that's right, Gail.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm on the A-list.
Jimmy, your father-in-law texted me Happy Mother's Day and Happy
That's
Birthday. Yeah,
sweet.
I'm like, that's right, Jimmy. Infiltrated. You want a piece of me? You got it. Everyone's like, actually, I don't want a piece of you. And I'm like, you're going to get one of these.
They're like, I'm forced to. I'm bound by this.
No option. And Connor's just tagging along.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's so sweet.
All right, y'all. I think we did it this week.
Let's
I
go.
think we did it.
I need food.
All right.
Well, we love you. Rate, review, subscribe, follow us on TikTok.
Thanks for
follow us on
listening
Instagram.
in.
Thanks for listening. We love you. Cheers
Bye.
to that. See you next week. Mwah.
Bye.
Stop that. Actually, you're scared to stop that one.